Loving greetings to Guru Muni Narayana Prasad, to my esteemed fellow presenters, and Gurukula sisters and brothers around the world. At Swami Tyageshwara's kind invitation, we are gathering to start the celebration of the Shatabhishekam of Guru Muni Narayana Prasad. In doing so, Narayana Gurukula continues in the tradition of Narayana Guru in revaluing ancient rituals to enliven their spiritual core. In the Gurukula, celebrating a Shatabhishekam is not a social affair in honor of a person's birthday, nor is it an occasion to conduct elaborate and costly rituals. Rather, it is an opportunity to highlight the wisdom guidance that brings beauty, peace, and joy to human life. We are ever in need of those who explore and explain the well springs of wisdom in spiritual texts, which spark the light of the eternal Guru within every seeker and guide the spreading manifestation of wisdom in human life. Guru Muni Narayana Prasad has lived such an exploration and dedication since he was a very young man. The fruits of that dedication have manifested in his care and steadiness in heading Narayana Gurukula for over 2 decades. His loving energy and his copious published works in both Malayalam and English. Naturally, it is his English works that I can best appreciate, with gratitude for his generous sharing of each one with me. Before I give close attention to one of those works, I'd like to share some early personal memories of Guru Prasad. The 2 earliest memories came to me indirectly. The first came from Peter Oppenheimer in the early 1970s, within a year or so of our having graduated from Stanford University, where we had become good friends. When we reconnected in California, he eagerly related to me his initial encounter with Narayana Gurukula. He, as a complete stranger, was warmly welcomed to stay in Varkala by then Muni Narayana Prasad, without any request for or expectation of payment or anything really. The fact that Peter did stay and the enthusiasm with which he told me of that experience and how it led to his meeting Guru Nitya Chaitanya Yati led to my also meeting him, an incalculable blessing. The second memory came through Guru Nitya. During the early years of my study with him in California and Oregon, he often mentioned that it was because of Muni Narayana Prasad's careful attention and hard work capably managing the Gurukula that he was able to be out of India for long periods of time. So before I had ever met him, Guru Prasad had a place in my heart as someone I regarded with warm gratitude and appreciation. When I then did meet him, when I first visited India in 1979, I experienced the same genuine welcome as Peter had described, shining in his warm smile when I and two other U.S. friends arrived in Varkala for the first time with Guru Nitya. We then all together embarked on a most unusual adventure. Guru Nitya's dear friends, Dr. Vijaya Prasantan Pillai, with his wife Girija, had chartered a bus and made all the arrangements for a large group to meet in Delhi and then make a pilgrimage in the Himalayas to Kedarnath and Badrinath. The Pillais invited many of their family members, as well as Guru Nitya and Muni Narayana Prasad, and also several friends and students of Guru, including a few of us from the U.S. Our friend Josie fell ill shortly after we began. So Guru Nitya arranged for she and I to stay a few days longer at the Shivananda ashram in Rishikesh. He said that he would go with the rest of the group to Kedarnath. The road to Kedarnath was up a side road, off the main road, to which they would return in 3 days' time. Guru Nitya asked us to meet them at Rudraprayag, where the roads met, which was also the start of the Ganges, formed by the confluence of two rivers. After 3 days, we boarded a bus to Rudraprayag. As we approached the town, we realized with a slight sense of panic that we had no idea just where we were to meet. The bus driver decided for us and dropped us at the government guest house. Uncertain what to do next, we left our bags on the porch and walked around the side of the building to have a view of the two rivers coming together, perhaps 1,000 feet below us. Set somewhat above the rivers was a small temple from which concrete steps led down to a large rock, almost at water level. As we stood gazing down, we noticed something white moving. Gradually, we realized that it was Muni Narayana Prasad, who, with his clear and caring vision, had spotted us and was waving his white towel to get our attention. What a relief. Soon the bus arrived at the guest house, and we rejoined everyone to continue on our way. Later that year, during my first ever annual Gurukula convention in Varkala, I marveled at Muni Narayana Prasad's capacity to organize the programs and provide the essentials for the Gurukula heads and the very many friends, followers, and students of the Gurukula who gathered from all over. Not to mention the Shivagiri pilgrims who would arrive by the busload randomly throughout the day and night to circulate through the grounds, seeking to find Guru Nitya and touch his feet. I remember a particular spot near the doorway of the office adjacent to the front gate, where Muni Narayana Prasad could often be found, standing calmly, as his watchful gaze took in all the details of the activities in the neighboring kitchen and dining hall and wide courtyards under the mango trees, so that he could keep all functioning smoothly. I also saw how, at any moment, he would take on any one of the many tasks where his help or guidance was needed. When I later was responsible for conducting and welcoming friends and students to the annual Guru Puja at Island Gurukula Aranya on a much smaller scale, his example was very encouraging to me. At that first convention, in the midst of so much activity, so many people coming and going, and most everything being conducted in Malayalam, it was a relief that Muni Narayana Prasad was willing to patiently and smilingly answer questions and provide translations when needed. It is that very skill of translation that made possible the book I wish to highlight today, Narayana Guru Complete Works, published by National Book Trust in 2006. Guru Prasad's work of giving careful attention to each word of each composition of Narayana Guru's poetry has created a valuable text for English-speaking students of Narayana Guru. Whenever I refer to this book, I am touched by the mention of the poetic meter of each work, a reminder of the beauty manifested in Narayana Guru's works, which even non-Malayalam speakers can feel when the originals are chanted. I also appreciate the careful research implied in the introductory notes, which identify where and when and why each composition came into being. They remind us of Narayana Guru's compassionate responsiveness, which led him to travel up and down the length of Kerala, often on foot, to install deities in temples open to all, to resolve tensions, to foster education, and always to share his life-saving wisdom. The works Narayana Guru wrote that coincided with temple installations demonstrate his use of the format of a devotional hymn to lift the awareness of his followers from icon worship to philosophical contemplation to vistas of the unlimited absolute. One example is Manam Tala Devistavam, written upon the installation of a new goddess idol in the renovated Manam Tala temple. Let me share Guru Prasad's translation of verses 1, 3, and 4. With the pearl umbrella unfolded, flowers rained, and their fragrance offered in worship to the sun that you are, and transformed into pure effulgence, and with all the apparent model qualities gone, and with the qualified also gone, let me gracefully cross this ocean of qualities, O Mother. Radiance in essence, your manifest forms, when meditated upon, in everyone's case, owing to self-satisfaction, all heaviness ceases to be. All then, with your grace, feel fully contented, and all the difficulties run far away. Nothing is impossible because you always, as pure consciousness, exist in the mind, giving out constantly what is proper to all the worlds, O Mother. As rivers entering and becoming merged in the ocean, so too, what is given to knowledge enters your feet, and lo, gets transformed into that. In just a few verses, Narayana Guru guides us from the temple context of beauty and worship into the philosophical subtleties of directing contemplation from specific qualities to the source and meeting place of all qualities of being, consciousness, value itself. This same unfurling of attention from the specific to the ultimate is evidenced in another one of the many gems in this book, translated by Guru Prasad, Prapancha Shrishti, of which verse 2 reads, "The inside mind and the outside body, the senses and the inner mind, transcending all such dualities, rises up the primordial consciousness, conscious of all such dualities. From it, causal to both day and night, there emanate and shine the beings existing all around. Let us become merged only in that undeceitful, all-pervading greatness and experience its blessedness." These verses and the compositions they are part of are, of course, worthy of commentary. And most of them have received that careful attention from Guru Prasad and his predecessors, Nataraja Guru and Guru Nitya. At the same time, these English translations make the clarity and beauty of Narayana Guru's vision readily available for contemplation by seekers around the world. Perhaps unusually, it is Narayana Guru's contemplative vision that I came to first. Through Guru Nitya's teaching, principally through his guidance of a large group of students in Portland, Oregon, through an in-depth study of Atmopadesha Satakam in 1977 and 78. We were all profoundly impacted by the philosophical teachings and mystical insights that stood up to critical scrutiny, and more than that, offered sound and solid guidance for a fulfilled, peaceful, and happy life, all delivered in melodic verse. It was only later that I gradually learned of Narayana Guru's impact on the society and culture of South India, with its ever-expanding reverberations. Although as a youngster, I had heard of the caste system in India with abhorrence and felt some pride in the U.S. in comparison. As I then learned more of U.S. history and the shameful and abhorrent genocidal actions against Native peoples and the enslavement of African Americans and its modern equivalents, I confronted the reality of universal dynamics of racism and oppression. Narayana Guru's words and actions that led suffering humans to liberation from both external and internal oppression became precious guides to clear and compassionate responsiveness. The multifaceted nature of Narayana Guru's life and teachings, in which his words and actions all arose from and bore testament to his full identity with the light of the self of all as his own self, as the Ishavasya Upanishad says, drew me to learn more and more until I was able to write a biography of the Guru. After letting it lie fallow for some years, when I committed to preparing it for publication, I shared this news with Guru Prasad. I was very touched by his affirmative response, and even more by his willingness to write a foreword to present the book to the world so caringly and aptly. Now, I would like to do something a bit unusual and invite all of you to take a walk with me. Of course, as we are all in different locations on the globe, we cannot physically walk together. But if we use our inner vision, we can. We begin standing on the hill that supports the beautiful Brahmavidya Mandir, under whose soaring roof can be found a spacious meeting hall, the East-West University of Brahmavidya Library, and the serene Shivalinga marking the Samadhi of Nataraja Guru. The steadfast stability and magnitude of the carved stone speaks of the perseverance of Nataraja Guru in founding and guiding Narayana Gurukula. And the oil lamp steadily burning there speaks of his philosophical brilliance preserved in many books. As we stand there, we can recall that Guru Muni Narayana Prasad saw to every detail of the construction from the ground up over several years. From this hill, we can look across the tops of coconut trees to a neighboring hill, Shivagiri, where for some time Narayana Guru lived and taught, an ashram grew up, and where he founded an unusually light-filled temple to Shadada, the goddess of wisdom. It is also the place of his samadhi, marked by a multi-tiered building of white circular terraces, which shine in the sunlight by day and are softly floodlit at night, a reminder of Narayana Guru's ever-glowing spiritual light. Walking the curving path leading down from the Brahmavidya Mandir recalls a scene from a documentary on Guru Nitya Chaitanya Yati's life, writings, and teachings, in which I was fortunate to be briefly filmed walking that very path with him as he compassionately shared his wise guidance with me, as he did with multitudes of others through his numerous books, talks, and articles, his loving letters, and his ever-fresh wisdom classes. Along the path, we pass bas-relief sculptures depicting major phases of Indian culture, created and installed by Hariharan, one of many artists, writers, and musicians Guru Nitya encouraged and inspired. Continuing down the path, we reach a paved road and follow it to a wide gate opening onto a sand-strewn courtyard under mango trees, bounded by whitewashed buildings. Walking under the trees, we pass a statue of Narayana Guru, also by Hariharan, unique in its depiction of a living person, rather than the stiff and stylized versions usually seen. A little ways past, we see a hexagonal building with half walls and a red tile roof. the Narayana Gurukula Varkala Prayer Hall, where twice daily the students of the Gurukula gather at the feet of and in the company of the Guru. For decades, despite the challenges of some severe health issues, Guru Muni Narayana Prasad has been there, living with wholehearted dedication the dearly held value and vision of Nataraja Guru, that wisdom seekers could have the chance to live and learn in freedom together with a trusted and revered teacher who would give full attention and care to sharing the highest of wisdom with them. Just around the corner, mere steps away from the prayer hall, are two simply furnished airy rooms where Guru Prasad has lived and worked for many years. From these rooms, volume after volume has come into being. Over 64 books in Malayalam and 24 in English. In the months to come, friends, followers, students, and collaborators around the world will be given the opportunity to discover, rediscover, and explore in depth the valuable guidance to be found in those books, as well as to attend classes in person and virtually, and to actualize in ways both modern and traditional the vision of an authentic Gurukula bequeathed to us by Nataraja Guru and lived with such fidelity by Guru Muni Narayana Prasad. This is indeed a worthy cause for celebration, which I am glad to participate in inaugurating.